Hey everybody, it's David coming to you today from the Arlington River Rock Inn Bed and Breakfast here in Arlington, Washington. Absolutely stunning location here in the foothills of the Cascades with some very dear friends of ours, Bob and Lisa Watkins. We've known them for years. We travel with them. Um, they built this beautiful, beautiful lodge themselves, oh gosh, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. I'm going to do this video for guests start arriving tonight, and I have to be on my best behavior. But bed and breakfasts are just great places to be, particularly here in Washington, because you have such great differences of views with big Douglas firs and other things. So anyway, wanted to review lesson 6 and then preview the final lesson, lesson 7. This seems like it just flew by, right? So let's get started. Lesson 6. I won't go into too much detail here because I did do a midweek video on SMEs, but the first discussion board question this week talked about SMEs, talked about when to use them, when not to use them, and hopefully you were able to differentiate both of those times to determine when to use them and sometimes when you just ought to go it alone. And then my video this week talked a little bit about thought SMEs and doer SMEs. So hopefully you were able to look at that as well. The second discussion board this week I didn't talk a lot about, but talked about drawing making toast. And the real key on that particular video was really focused on systems thinking and how you can get groups of people together so that you're not always focused on the same type of attitude. Hey, Bob, how you doing, buddy? This is my buddy Bob. Say hi, Bob.
Hey, hi, Bob.
Thanks. This is Bob Photobomb.
Photobombing me.
Bob, you got to take care of guests tonight, okay?
Yes.
All right. Great. Thanks, Bob. Sorry about that. It shows you the fun that bed and breakfast owners can have. But we talked about in this one how to get together as a group, how to have group thinking, how to think as a system, how sometimes that people are visual learners versus other types of learners. And so I got to look at some of your comments earlier in the week, and they're really, really good on this one. So thanks for your focus on that. And then the application exercise brought back in Ominous Story, where obviously there were SMEs in that story who played a big part and a big role in the success of that mission. And obviously, both with people inside the military, people who are contractors with the military, people who are in the hospitals, people who are raising money, all of those things. And again, hopefully you noted that there were some similarities between the thinking styles and the SMEs in that particular application. Okay, and then coming forward here in lesson 7, we're going to wrap it all up, talk about worldview. The discussion board question this week talks about worldview. For those of you with a Christian background, you will have seen and heard worldview tossed around quite a bit. But I will tell you that people, regardless of religious beliefs, have a worldview. I've never met someone who hasn't had a worldview. Some of them, I believe, are a little misguided, but the worldview is simply the lens through which you view the world, and it provides another foundation for you to think critically. It provides another foundation for bias that you may have as well. And so we'll be interested to see your comments on the discussion boards as it relates to worldview. One of the things that I present in this as well is there is one of the key things that you do as you start many graduate programs is you go through Creswell's book on worldview, because as you begin any type of research project or research analysis or those types of things, it's very important that you lay that worldview on the table, because it's going to be, again, the lens through which you're going to approach your research project and those types of things. And so whether it's religious or secular, the same thing applies in those areas. The first application exercise this week, you can write in first person because it's an application about you. What I'm asking you to do is to be reflective. take a look at the last 6-7 weeks in this course and go through it. Maybe share some of the things that have been surprising to you. Share some of the things that perhaps you're more cognizant of today than you were when you started. And so you can be as as open as you want to be. These I just normally grade on participation. Make sure you have good formatting on them, though, obviously. But it's something that that I want you to share. What's been meaningful or the most meaningful to you over the last 7 weeks? Okay, and then the second application you cannot write in first person. It'll be a third person writing, but it talks about the worldview of the people in Amina's story. But then here's one thing I don't want you to miss. Students tend to miss this and not include it in this exercise. I want you to understand and to communicate what the organizational impacts could be, because remember, as you in an organization or as a company or in your family make a decision, it affects other people, or it can affect other people. And so the decisions that you make can have impacts downstream on your organization. And so you begin to think about this. By helping just this one girl, what were the organizational implications for the military? By helping just this one girl, what were the organizational impacts for the church in Nashville? By helping this one girl, what were or could the organizational impacts been for Vanderbilt Hospital? And by helping this one girl, what could be the impacts of individuals in that story as well? All right. I hope you have a great final week here. As usual, I am traveling, but am totally accessible. So if you need me, chat with me. And then here in a day or so, I've got a final video to kind of wrap things up with some final thoughts. You'll probably get that one tomorrow from a very, very special location that I went to, oh gosh, about 3 months ago. All right. Take care. Have a great week.